Tune in to Watch Chubble. We bring you a variety of info, highlights with Shandy Sweet,
NikkiGThevoice, and DJ Dazzle.
Hit us up on IG
at Shandy_media
and at NikkiGThevoice. Shandy, you ready for Watch Chubble?
Yeah, girl, I'm totally ready.
Watch Chubble.
Push back and give me all of you. Give me girl, give me girl, give me girl.
On boomstation.net.
Boomstation.net.
Hello? Oh, I don't have.
You're right.
I'm hearing you now. Oh, nice.
Are you? Hold on.
I hear you now.
Yeah, I could hear you.
Oh, Judgment is here as well.
Yeah, I was trying to set up.
Oh, that's nice.
I'm trying to set up the camera on this other one.
Hi, Judgment. Oh, it's connecting audio, right?
Yeah, audio is still connecting for him.
Yeah.
I'm gonna fix up. I'm gonna use another thing so you could see me. I was trying to use this
To set it up.
Yeah, but it's a phone that I use.
All right, Shandy is on her way. I just told her that way in. Judgment, how are you?
Yo, Nikki!
Yo!
Good on, girl. Look
Good.
at you.
How you doing?
I good. You got the backdrop and everything, boy. Looking like you're ready for Good Morning America.
I love these backdrops, so I tend to use them.
Yeah, it bad, boy. It bad.
Yeah. If I'm in the living room, then I'm like, okay, but I was like, I just actually got out from a exercise class.
Oh, word? With who?
And they were talking. Is a friend of mine who's called Milkshake.
Okay.
I'll share it with you, but they had like, it's like, I mean, anybody could join, but then they were talking. Let me see if anybody else is entering. Yeah, they were talking and stuff like that. They had an exercise, they had a prayer, they had like, everybody had like at least a half an hour or 15 minutes to do whatever they wanted to do.
Okay.
Yeah, so they were talking about healing and who lost people. I mean, it was interesting.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you do this every Wednesday?
This actually the last time we did it was Charlotte. That was what, on a Sunday, I think. Yeah, the last time we did it was probably on a Sunday, and then so everything is like we switch the days depending on how our schedule is.
Okay.
Yeah. Someone, Galaxy phone is entering. Yeah. So what we have today, we have two guests. Shiloh might probably be with one. Julius is supposed to come in.
Okay.
And hold on. JusD is supposed to come in as well. So we're gonna interview both of them. Huh?
All right. You said who? JusD and who?
JusD and Julius.
Oh, Julius. All right.
Yeah. But Shiloh said he was setting up there because Julius, they were practicing in the band room.
Okay.
So they said they were gonna give us a little show,
Oh, nice.
and that type of thing. Yeah.
Are you still practicing?
Huh?
You still in the band?
I don't know. I thought he was with you when I saw you setting up.
Oh no, that's just me.
Oh, wait. Let me put this one on because I don't know.
No, I was switching up something there, trying something,
Oh, okay, because I saw two of your things, so I wasn't sure.
It's my habit of always using two
You sound low.
because I'm fat.
Oh.
You saying, Shiloh, how you doing, bro?
I'm doing great, man. Judgment, what's happening?
Yeah, man. Good, bro. Good.
Yeah, I hear I talking away from the mic. That's why.
Very cool. How's Smitty doing, bro?
Smitty, he's good.
He's
I
good?
spoke to him. Yeah, I spoke to him. Well, I speak to him almost like every day.
Okay.
Yeah, I spoke to him. Hold on,
Oh shit! I'm messing up my phone.
Yeah, speak to him. He's good. He's doing a lot of projects and stuff like that. So, he has some new things that's coming out, but I'm excited. I'm like, we're thinking that people are not doing stuff, but behind the scenes, people are actually doing a lot of things.
A
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah.
A lot. I know. I see. Like I see people doing things behind the scenes too, talking to a couple of people, and boy, they grinding hard.
Yeah, even the artists are grinding too. Even though they're home, they're still doing a lot of things.
But I have a
A lot of
problem.
writing and,
Yeah.
what's keeping you busy?
Honestly, I'm starting up my own business. I'm doing something a bit outside of music. I do bookkeeping and accounting.
Okay. Oh, really?
Good man. Sounds
I've been trying to kind of like work on that a bit because the job I had before, I got laid off.
Oh.
I'm just trying to start my own business because I realize I ain't a person that I can work for a boss. I can't. I have a problem with authority. So I just said, you know what, the heck with this. I'm starting my business. My mom, she's been doing accounting for like the last 30 years. So she clients and everything. So I'm just starting to build with her,
Oh, nice.
I've been doing that and keeping myself busy trying to study some of this soca and everything. Like, there's a lot of tunes out there that haven't been played, and it's like they in the same cookie cutter mode all the time. So I'm trying to get out of that and come back to like, like some
new songs. Yeah. That's
So
good.
I've been studying.
And I think the entertainment industry kind of spoil us in a way because it's like when I go to my 9 to 5, I'm like, oh my God, what jail is this? I wish I could do something more exciting. And where's the music? Why aren't they playing music? And, but they still try to entertain us because ever so often they'll have yoga.
Mm-hmm.
And during the courses of the day, they always have exercises that we do. It's a bank. So they always have exercises that we do. So it's been pretty good,
Okay.
Yeah, but some cases it's boring because it's a corporate, but I really love entertainment.
It's really like once you get into it, like I've like in the last 2 years, I've been doing this like since 2001.
Okay.
Right. And within the last 2 to 3 years, I have like went on a whole different ride in the music thing that just like, it's like, I can't go back to like the way it was before. It's like, it makes no sense. I can't go do a 9 to 5 and just, I got to get on that grind where it's like, I'm just like knee deep into it now,
Yeah.
So
That's how it is.
It's a beautiful thing, man.
It is. It sure is to be able to do your own thing. And besides like the regular job, it's good to, on the weekends I have from Friday to Sunday, I still get to dabble, during the week and stuff like that. But from Friday to Sundays, like I get to go and see people and talk to people, email and do the fun stuff.
Yeah. How's you been doing a lot of voiceovers?
Yeah, I have. Now that we're in quarantine, just like artists, because my job pertains to artists and DJs and, so it kind of simmered a bit, but then you find the jobs has changed because now people who are doing radio stations, artists who, want, let's say intros and stuff like that, you get in more of that. So it's kind of like, it's benefiting you in a sense because you're getting bigger jobs. I don't want to say better jobs, but bigger jobs, and other opportunities and other new clients.
Right.
Yeah.
No, that's good. That's good. As long as you stay busy, man. Because I was thinking like, now's the time where people are be going on doing mixes and they be wanting to do live streams, so they're gonna have to have all kinds of drops and things. So I'm like, this girl must be going out of her mind now.
No, I haven't, because most people, let me tell you, I have a client, right? One of them who has his drop for like 6 years, but what he said was, hypothetical, about 6 years, it might be more. He said he kept it because it kind of inspired me, because he said it kept him grounded to show him where he started. And then recently, we always speak and all that stuff. And he told me the story of it. I always try to support my clients. So I go on the radio station, or I listen to the mixes, or I share the mixes to show, you know, I'm supporting them. And then recently, I did something for him again, and it was like really inspiring to me.
Okay.
You know, being able to reconnect, and you're not always gonna get the same people doing new stuff over and over, but I think it's nice to meet new people.
Absolutely.
And then the referrals.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But you
like how I met you.
Yeah, man. I mean, but that's the thing, is like, it started off with just supporting it, but you have such a wicked brand with your voice that it kind of like, it stands out so much, like, you know, and your mastering, yo, you have some wicked mastering, man.
Oh,
Like sometimes,
really?
yeah, because I have like especially when I do my mixes, right? And my effects, I don't do my effects live. I always do my mixes live, and then I do my effects later on.
Okay.
And a lot of times with a lot of voiceovers that I have, I always EQ it, because the music, it just overpowers.
Loud.
It just overpowers. Sometimes I gotta turn down some of it sometimes, because it just sounds too clean, and it's just like, bam, you know.
Well, you know what? I have to thank. I've had, let me say, at least 5 producers throughout the whole history of me doing what I do. And the first producer that I had was the person that taught me how to do voiceovers, right?
Okay.
So he was the first one, but he was very good at, kind of like in his own way, at production. But the person that I have now, because you usually have to make sure that the person that's there for you, there's no, how should I say, like it's not a conflict of interest. So I've had where someone had their own voice, but they were kind of like pushing them more. So I needed someone that when I needed them, they'll be able to be there for me. Now, Sean 3.0 is my producer, and he's very good, right? I had another one. He was very good as well, but it's like, it's what the client wants, you know, as well. And if they're saying, well, this sounds better, and how come this sounds different, then you try to bring both of them to match. They're not going to be the same. It's going to be a little different, but, you know, so it just so worked out that Sean ended up being the main person that does my production. So he does mastering and mixing, and that's why you hear it like that, because he's a pro guy.
Yeah, but it's really good though. Like it brings also a sense of professionalism, you know? Like,
yeah, it does. It does.
Nikki, you know, I was in Miami, and for Juve, I don't know who it was, but it was somebody on the Red Ants truck. Boy, they blasted you on their thing, man. Like, blasted you on it. I was like, yo, that's Nikki, guy.
You sure that wasn't gel?
No, it wasn't gel. It wasn't gel.
I'm not sure.
Gel. I don't think gel was on Red Ants. I don't remember if he was on, but it was somebody else. Anyways, if it wasn't you, somebody has the exact voice and the same style on how you do your, because you have a certain style, like you know it's you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I swear to God, I was like, I'm driving. I'm like, yo, this woman is everywhere, man.
That's what I want. I want, you know, it's nice to be like a household name. You want to be a household name. You want to be a good brand, no matter what you do. DJing, I'm sure Shiloh, Shandy, everybody could attest to that. You want your brand to be perfect. If not perfect, at least where your clients say, well, you know what, you did a great job.
They know, exactly.
And if you're not pleased with it, I mean, I'll tell them, come back to me and let me know. And then Sean has been like, I mean, he's been like a godsend in the sense that anything that I need done, redone, and they'll talk to me and they'll tell me, Nicole, this is what you have to do, and this is what's to expect, and all that type of stuff, you know? Yeah, so it's been pretty good. But enough about me, because we keep on, I mean, I don't mind talking about it and stuff like that, but Shandy's here. I don't have... Yeah, I mean, we can talk, but, you know. Hi, Shandy.
Oh, look at this one here. She's in St. Lucia. Where you is?
And that's where everybody wants to be. I want to be in the water. I don't want to be at home. Shani wants to be on an island.
I'm in a box.
I have my friend Toya here. Hi, Toya. Let me see if I can unmute you for a sec. You can say hi. Hi.
Hi.
We have Drizzle, and we have Shiloh, Shandy, and Jay, Team Happiness. Hey, Jay.
What's up, Drills? What's up, Jay? Hi, Shiloh.
What's going on?
Nothing much, man. You look like you're working.
Hold on, now, Jay. Where's the camera tonight?
Everybody could unmute their thing if they want to, right? Or do I have to do it?
You would have to do it.
All right. And then they could undo. Well, I think some people probably don't want to be.
No, I don't think Drills wants to be muted because I'm muted because I think he said he has a lot of noise in his background.
All right. Okay. And Jay, Team Happiness. Hi, Jay.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you guys doing?
We're doing good, thank you. Just to let you guys know, at the end of this, what we're gonna do, well, I'm gonna edit the video and it's definitely gonna be out there. The ones who are guests and stuff, you don't have to talk if you don't want to. I know we're gonna have people who are viewing, but the main people that we invited, which is Judgment Shiloh, and two other artists that's gonna come on. One artist is actually he is doing his practice in the band, so we're not too sure what time he's gonna come in, but he knows the time that we're here. And then we have one that's coming in. Well, he should come in about a minute or so, and we're gonna do an interview with him. And Shandy, you want to tell them what the conversation is about?
Well, we have the topics up. I don't know if you guys saw it. This was really the quarantine edition, but I know Nikki had some friends she wanted to invite over, so we have them on. So after the music segment, then we'll get into the chit chatter.
Yeah.
Basically, it's just a follow up on to see how everybody's doing with quarantine wise, and see how we're going from there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But the last show we had, I mean, we basically freestyled, even though we had a concept of what we were going to talk about. It led from one thing to the next, and we just talked. And I don't mind that, you know, it doesn't have to be standard like how we are. And that's what I love about this, because we talk and we say whatever we want, unlike in the radio. We talk about anything. The
radio, we still talk and say what we want. We just have to be censored because we know there are kids that sometimes listen.
And exactly. But the last time when we spoke, I remember we were like, don't put that in, Nicole. Don't put this in. You have to take this out. So that video, 2 videos might probably come out. Or someone was telling me do a part 1, a part 2, a part 3 to keep it kind of interesting and stuff like that. So,
yeah, I think that would make more sense to do it that way, to break it down that way.
Yeah. So we'll do that. Somebody's asking me for the code here.
Which I don't understand because I sent the link to everybody. I try to make it as brain surgery-less as possible. They could just click on it. Because I know the last time we were in the middle of the session, people was like, so what's the link? What's the code? And I'm just like, okay, here, just click on this, and that's it. But I don't know. Some people
pinged, but I guess they went.
I don't know. Look. Somebody now asking me for password.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You can't win with people, I swear.
Yeah, but I mean, we could go ahead and talk about the other things until the artists come, because they might probably be running late. JusD said that he was gonna come in, but the thing with JusD, he's booked up like a lot of different schedules, so he might be running a little bit late. But he did say between 8:15 and 8:30, around there.
So, guys, in the meantime, I guess we can go straight into the questions. Everybody can unmute now and stop doing whatever you're doing. Stop! The show's gonna start now.
At least that's my cue.
The questions that we have now are, what's the most exciting thing you've done during the lockdown? What have you learned about yourself since lockdown? And for people who are parents, because I know it's been hectic, I could talk for myself. Mm-hmm. How have you been juggling kids, house, and work? Because I know some people are still working and still have the kids. So how's that going for you? Anybody can go first. There's no order.
All right, I'll go first.
Going first.
You got white face.
Okay, so the first question was, how has it been going during lockdown?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm actually enjoying it myself. I love it. Because to be honest with you, I'm very I don't want to say antisocial, but I'm not all up in the clubs and all that. I'm always home. So if I don't have to work and be home at the same time, then I'm good with it. You know what I mean? But it's been interesting in the sense that I find that you really you have no choice but to be with your family in the sense that you conversate, you talk, and you're out of the routine where you go to work and you're spending all your day at work. You're usually now you're home. You don't really got as much stuff to do, and you're not reducing your workload after work. That you have that throughout the whole day now. So you tend to see more about your kids, experience more about how they are and stuff. It's less robotic, I would say, and it's more. It feels a little bit more natural. And my kids are at an age right now that they're not driving me crazy. Like they literally are on their phone and they're just doing their own thing. So it doesn't really bother me what they do. I am very restless though because I'm always on a go. So it's like for me to be like just sitting back and watching TV, I can't do that. So I've been really, like I was telling Nikki, I was like, I'm really into the music and I'm starting to build my business in the sense of just trying to get things going because I know that I lost my job, so I'm not really thinking about going back to another 9 to 5. I'm really trying to see what I can do to start a business. So I've been trying to encourage a lot of people to really look into studying a certain craft, no matter what craft they do or they like or they want to do. Get into it and try to do it now because you have the time now if you're not working. You know what I'm saying? So it's something that I think is very important, like to use your time wisely. So for me, I'm good.
And what have you learned about yourself during this pandemic?
What I've learned about myself, I'd say that I don't know what I've learned. I think it's just the fact that I am very detailed orientated and I'm very restless. Like I know that I've been always on the go. And it's literally been work after work. You come home, get your music ready, prepare your stuff. Then you have your weekends coming and it's DJing every weekend. And so it's always go, 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 go. So for me, for like the last 2 to 3 years, it's literally been nonstop each and every week, like working almost 7 days a week. So for me now, sitting back, it's like, okay, what am I doing? And I get very fidgety. So I think that might be one of the things I've learned about myself.
Oh, I didn't realize people trying to get in. Oh my God.
Who's next? Who wants to take a stab at it? Toya, Shiloh, I see you twice. That means you want to go. Jay, anybody? If no one wants to go, then I'll go.
Yeah, after you, Shandy.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Ladies first, right?
Judgment
so for me,
so that's fine. I should have gone next, but
you should have gone next. I left the floor open for you, the two of you.
To be honest, judgment give. Well, you know what? I'm gonna go. So this is kind of like what I've been up to. Mainly, as judgment said, I've been blessed, to actually still, keep my actual job. I'll be working from home, due to my actual, current career, so I could actually have the flexibility to work from home. But one of the major things I've been focused on is literally just building my own self. And just as Judgment stated earlier, just focus on building my own brand. And one of the steps that I've actually taken right now is just the simple fact that I could do something called an independent business, be an independent business owner. So I actually started that venture. And something that's when you present it to people at first, it may seem like something like very iffy or like, why are you doing this? But at the end of the day, it's more of me gaining self-confidence into actually really getting into the nitty-gritty of starting my own LLC and currently I'm in the process of that registration right now as we speak. I'm just waiting for them to finalize the entire paperwork because it takes like quite a few, like about a few days, 10, 15 days for them to also go through the entire process. But most of my actual focus is just on self-growth, man, like self-growth ways, areas I could improve it, you know, both me and my fiance, we could improve and basically something called financial freedom.
Yes.
I'm big right now on trying to build financial freedom. And with that said, it's just having freedom to just be able to do what you want, you know, versus for someone to tell you can't take this day off today, or or you may be, furlough or something like that. Like Judgment said, you might be layoff. Like, even though I'm fortunate still, but you never know like what could happen. Like, what if this thing goes on for quite a long time, and they have no choice to do layoffs, right? At the end of the day, they have to. But I've been reading a lot too. I've taken up quite a lot of reading books called Go Giver. So, no one ever heard of Go Giver, right? There's always the Go Getters. But with a Go Giving attitude, you could become that Go Getter. So there are so many different breaks down in that book. It teaches you like 6 strategies in success. And if you actually have the chance, you could look up that book called Go Giver. It's a really good book. So just reading a lot of books, keep on reading, and just like I said, getting my whole entire mindset right for financial growth plan.
That sounds awesome. And what have you learned most about yourself during this pandemic?
Honestly, like how I could actually articulate multiple things at once. I mean, I've always been a person who could multitask. What I've really learned is just a lot of things called patience. Just be patient with everything, and just be grateful, man. Because even Nikki like even like right now, like my dad is currently like in hospital with everything, but I don't really like put this on social media. But just being patient and have gratitude, man, for family, friends, people around you. Just appreciate them more. And learn how to like communicate differently, like I said, with my loved ones and just people in general, just learn how to communicate. And like Judgment said, man, I've been trying to give people like advice as well, but not everyone will take your advice as a positive, and you have to like sound somewhat put yourself mentally ready, not really mentally ready, but just have your attitude, just have your views. So one of the key things I take out of this COVID so far is that everyone's going to have their opinions. Opinions could be based on emotions, but facts is really what I want to get from everyone. So if you could produce facts to me, we actually could have a great, understanding and love for each other, because opinions could also throw things off, and it could make or break a friendship, relationship, and all that type of things.
That's so true.
Yeah.
Yep.
I just want to say one thing before people go on. JusD is on. So once he shows himself, then we can start. I'm just talking to him now. So not that I wasn't listening, but trying to get people in and talk to people at the same time. So as soon as he shows himself, okay. Yeah, JusD. Oh, wait. Was Shiloh finished? Because JusD, are you pressed for time?
My next interview is at 9.
At 9.
Yeah.
All right. So Shiloh, was he finished with the questions? I didn't.
I was. Yes, I was.
You were? All right. I heard some of it in between. I was trying to multitask. All right. So everyone, JusD is here. He has a new song. JusD is from Barbados. Do I have to play the songs to you, JusD, or you have them? You could play it yourself.
No, if you could play, it would be good. I had to switch rooms due to connection.
All right, no problem. So you can introduce yourself and stuff, and I'll set up the music so they could hear it.
All right, cool. Yeah, well, as she said, I'm from Barbados. I'm a songwriter, producer, and an artist, full-time. I write for other artists. I wrote songs for Marshall, Rupi, Shaggy, Octane, almost every artist in Barbados, Tedison and Ricardo, a whole heap, yeah, basically that's me in a nutshell.
That's a real quick intro.
If anybody have any questions.
For those who don't know, what songs have you sang in the past?
My first big song was a track called Nine, Na Nani. I ain't give up the Na Nani. And then, of course, after that, we had Don't Win a Hole and manager. Raise your hand if you don't need a manager. You only need a man who can manager. You know, some of the ladies' favorite. We had Don't Win a Hole. That was a huge track in Barbados. It's probably gonna go down as a classic. Thank God for that. But yeah, those are some of the songs.
Shame to
I'm
say
gonna
that song that you just mentioned, I swear was a Trini who sang it. I am so ashamed.
What? Nah,
Don't
big
Get in the
job,
Hole, I know it's you, but I didn't know that other song was you.
yeah.
Judgment. We
Big
should have Judgment or Shiloh play their song because you guys have music instead of having me going through YouTube. We have two DJs here.
That's true. That's true.
Going to YouTube.
Yeah, just go into YouTube and type in JusD.
What's it called?
Do you have the Bam Bam thing out now?
Yeah. Boom
Boom
bam.
Bam, sorry. All right, so play one of the old ones first and then play his newer ones. Just one of the old ones.
Well, I got manager. Hold on.
Yeah.
Manager's one of my favorite shows, boy.
Yeah.
Bless
One of
you,
my
bro.
friends.
Jobs yourself,
I
girl.
like Dung in the Hole. That's one of my favorites. My personal favorite.
Actually, we have more than one DJs here, but we seen two on camera, so.
Yeah, because I know I see Danger. I could have sworn I saw Danger
Yes.
face.
Yes.
He disappeared. Put down. How you doing, boo?
All right, you want to play some?
Yeah. Play Manager is what you're gonna play.
Yeah.
Touch up yourself, girl. Just this, touch up yourself, girl. You look nice, oh. Your body go and take a wine. Your spell go and take a wine. You look nice, want to go wine. Are you ready to take a wine? Raise your hand if you don't need a manager. You only need a man who can manage you. No man who will see the belly. Go in the jelly and pull up on the stamina.
Push back like Girl, if you can make panty drop like Hey. One drop like tick tock like fling it up like girl, if you just boom.
Thanks.
That's good.
I'm jamming, yo.
So, JusD, I have to ask this question because, you know, I have a couple of artists that have asked me, you know, seeing that Carnival is not in effect, should they still drop new music? And I see you drop new music. So
Yeah.
I want to know what inspired you to say, you know what, F this, I'm going to still drop music regardless of what.
Well, first thing, I'm dropping a whole album coming real soon. The world have over 7 billion people, you know, they still need music. And I just think that, you know, people home that would normally be at Carnival, they can't get to jam, but we could still give them something to jam to, you know, on the inside, you know. And then for artists, you know, there's a whole digital world out there where you can get paid from streaming. So the more music you drop right now, you know, the more streaming you're gonna make, and the higher your income because you could still make money outside of not being performing in front of everybody else. So those are some of the reasons why I'm still dropping music.
And the whole lack of Carnival, that has hurt you economically, or you're working your way around it, as you stated?
Well, I have to work my way around it, but, you know, I definitely gonna feel it because I write for people, I produce for people, I put up music myself. You know, as you said earlier, a lot of artists not sure if to drop music, so a lot of them kind of like halt, you know, on the business, you know, in terms of, well, let's put back that song to next year or whatever the case may be, you know. And then, you know, all the bookings we had, you know, we have been canceled, you know, so that's income lost there as well.
That's hard.
You know, so my workaround is to just drop music, you know, build content and utilize these streaming platforms.
Yeah,
and you're in Barbados. How is it going out over there in Barbados for you?
Well, it's not too bad. We came off a lockdown Monday, so we just on a curfew now. I think it's from 8 till 5 a.m., 8 p.m. to 5 a.m. So it's not too bad. It's not as bad as before, you know. So you can go outside as long as you do what you have to do and just, you know, use, you know, your brain and just go back inside when it's time to go back inside.
How is the statistics over there as far as you know, what's going on in New York and New Jersey and all the different tri-state areas?
It's not too bad. We have quite a few recoveries. We only have about like I don't have it to hand right now, about 7 deaths, but I think in the last three days we didn't record any new cases.
Good.
So it's not too bad, not too bad. Could
What
be
steps-
better. Could always be better.
What steps did they take in Barbados in order to, I mean, besides everybody saying because of the weather and the humidity and stuff like that, it kind of helps. Do you think that, or what do you think that made Barbados
Well,
where it is right now?
I'm not sure. So much information is going around. It's hard to really see which one is actually the correct one. But some of the steps that our prime minister took. She kind of like closed down some of the places early. Close down some of the borders. Get people off the street. And enforce a sharp curfew. Kind of like got you ready for the lockdown. So those are some of the stuff she did. Close off the beaches, fast foods, a whole heap of things, man.
No chauffeurs. I know that
No
hurt your heart,
chauffeur.
didn't it?
No chauffeur. I think right now chauffeur trying to look at a delivery service because all the outlets closed.
You have two questions.
Not to cut anybody. I know we have a lot of people on tonight, so I see some people started writing questions in the chat box.
Yeah, I was just about to say that.
So feel free to write your questions there, or you can unmute and talk. But I think it'll facilitate better if you answer your questions there. Somebody asked in regards to testing, are they doing testing in Barbados? And Amari said to tell you, you deserve an award for doing what you're doing.
But the way how they said it is Bajans getting tested.
It is Bajans. Yeah, of course we're doing testing. I think we have done over like 2,500 tests already.
Okay.
Yeah, because they try to keep us up to date.
My question to you now is, and we've asked a couple people in the room already, what have you learned about yourself during this quarantine period?
I learned, that I really don't need certain things that I've been going after, when we was able to shop a lot and travel a lot and drink and party a lot, like I don't need those things. Like I'm not craving them, I also learned that, it's good to take time for yourself because everybody's just always on the go, like 24/7, hustling, trying to make ends meet or get more money or whatever. But sometimes it's just good to like sit down, relax, and do absolutely nothing.
It's true.
You sound like Shiloh.
Yeah,
You're in the same mental status somewhat.
And for myself, I found I've been trying to learn a lot of other stuff, like going online, checking stuff like digital marketing, just learning more stuff.
Nikki, questions? Anybody else have questions? Nikki, questions?
Yeah, you guys could type the questions in there if you want us to read it out for you, or you could unmute yourself to ask him a question. Does anyone have a question? Well, I just have something to say. I find that, like, I just finished a Zoom class and I said I was going to stay there for 45 minutes, hit the shower real quick, put on I don't do all sort of makeup and all that type of stuff, so I'm cool. But I find myself way busier in the house, being able to do stuff. Some days, like on a Saturday, sometimes it's like, you're bored. If you, hold on, I have someone joining. Yeah, you're bored, right? Maybe because you really feel like you want to go out and you're fed up of this. Judgment or Shiloh, if you guys want to set up his music and let me know when it starts for his other music so the time doesn't run out, which is Boom Bam. You guys have it by chance?
Hold on, let me see.
And
Shiloh,
I just got
that's a new one, right?
Yeah.
And I just got the MP3 and all that stuff, so I'm gonna distribute it to everyone today that's on here and the DJs.
Send me the MP3 if you can, real quick, for that one.
Oh, you want me to send it?
Yeah, in case Judgment don't have it yet.
No, I don't got it.
All right.
JusD, when does your album drop?
We are thinking the 8th, around the 8th. We're just waiting for some confirmation, but definitely the 8th.
Okay. The 8th of May.
8th of May.
That's right there.
Yeah.
That's right there. Okay, that's cool. That's what's up. Okay, so we haven't asked the relationship question, but I'm gonna ask you anyway. Have you snuck out to get anything? You know, since the quarantine? That's the relationship question. We haven't got the relationship topic, but
this
I
is
said
Watch Chubble.
you now.
I just sent it, guys.
Nah, the answer to that is no.
Oh, okay. You've been a good boy.
Everything's in house.
Oh!
I was just about to say that.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't have to sneak.
So with that being said, has this quarantine period brought your relationship and made it stronger, or you learned a lot like, yo, I don't know how I could deal with this, or how I've been dealing with this?
A bit of both. A bit of both. You know, you got your good days, your bad days.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but you're interviewing so much. You must be busy all the time. Like the only frustration I can see you having is like she's saying, "Oh my God, can they give you a rest? I want you to stay with me," even though you're in the house. But
it's more like probably more chores.
50-50 now.
Yeah, or more like 75-25.
75. That's a boss asks who does the cooking.
She does.
Okay.
You don't cook at all?
Rarely.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'm a good cook. Just saying, you know. Just saying.
If you guys are ready, let us know, and we can play the next track.
I got it.
You got it?
Okay.
All right. Cordell?
Oh, you want to go on? All right, I'll let you go then.
No, Charlotte, you can go if you want, bro. I got it.
Let's flip a coin.
I love it.
Come give it up. Girl, give it up, give it up, give it up. Take me thing, girl. Come give it up. Girl, give it up.
Turn on my lights.
Give it up. Don't run from the jam. Don't run from the jam. Don't run from the boom, boom, boom. Don't run from the bomb. Take me thing, girl. Bend your back. To give me chat. Long time see me want some of that. Skin clean and your belly flat. Me have a big bite come go on from the back, y'all. Me hold on from the plot, y'all. Me want you fi get slack, y'all. Roughness, you a lock, y'all. You a lock, y'all. Come get dibby and wine pon me now. Me tipsy and me want love you don't get dibby and wine pon me now. Till the morning come, y'all. Boom, bam, open a ya. Boom, bam, y'all. Don't win a ya. More pain, more pleasure. Take the boom, bam.
Nice.
Can we please have an acapella?
Yeah,
Give it up.
Give it up. Take the thing, girl.
Girl, give it up. Don't run from the jam. Don't run from the jam. Don't run from the boom, boom.
Boom, boom, boom.
Don't run from the bomb. Take the thing, girl. Bend your back. To give me chat. Long time
see me want some of that.
Skin clean and your
Your belly flat. Me have a big bite come go on from the backyard. Me hold on from the front yard.
Me want you to
get slack, girl.
Roughness,
you a lock, girl. Come get dibby and wine for me now. Me tipsy and me want love you don't get dibby and wine for me now. Till the morning come, girl. Boom, bam. Boom, bam, girl. No pain, no pleasure.
boom, bam. Don't win a ya, girl. Boom, bam.
Nice.
So I don't know, Justy. I just want to hear your vocals alone. No sound, no nothing. I just want to hear acapella. Give us an acapella.
All right. Bend your back, don't give me chat. Long time see me want some of that. Skin clean and your belly flat. Me have a good bite come go on from the back, y'all. Me hold up on the plate, y'all. Me want you fi get slack, y'all. Roughness, you a lock, y'all. Y'all come get dibby and wine for me now. Me tipsy and me want love you don't get dibby and wine for me now. Till the morning come, y'all. Boom, bam, don't win ya. Boom, bam, y'all. Up in ya. More pain, more pleasure. Take the boom, bam, up in ya, man.
I'm sorry. I sent a bias. I feel hurt by that. You said flat belly. I don't have a flat belly. I take offense to that.
Hey.
Right? I just have to put that out there. Let me move my shirt and fix that up.
Oh, I thought you was gonna show me. I'm like, now in my head, I was like, let me.
I might have done that, but due to certain things, I'm just gonna.
I gotta do a remix for you then.
Yes, you do. Make sure you put in the caps. This is for Shandy.
Can you do
Raise your hand if you
a
don't
short?
need a manager.
Yeah. Sing that one for me because I'm recording it real quick.
Raise your hand if you don't need a manager. You only need a man who can manage you. A man who would feed the belly, go down in the jelly, and full up with the stamina. Girl push back like, one drop like, tick tock like, fling it up like, girl free to make tea drop like, Don't let a man tell you what to do, girl. You could be flirty, you're not under contract. Bow! Girl take one wine for that. Live for your want, no man to keep track. Bow! Girl, take one wine for that cause no man can treat you like you less. You are a queen and you deserve the best. So if your man never step out of place, it's best you push him to the your body go with take a mad.
Oh my God. I remember meeting him on Uber Suco Cruise, right? And we went upstairs to do an interview. And I honestly, when I met JusD, I didn't know it was him at that time. So he started singing and he's right next to me. And I was like, ah! And I started screaming. And I still have that video. Huh?
I still got the video too.
I know. I started screaming. I was like, oh my God. And then what he did next, I was like, yo. It was so funny, but you never know who you are around.
JusD, I want to know if you have anybody you want to shout out, any Instagram handles you want people to follow, and all that good stuff.
Yes, for sure. Well, you can follow me for starters. You know, I am JusD on Instagram, or you can check out the website, iamjustd.com. I just want to shout out my whole team, everybody right here on this Zoom, and, you know, a special shout out to all the frontline workers that, you know, doing it for us right now. Every day they're facing the battles, and we inside and they're outside in front, you know, so big up to them, hands down.
Yo, I just want to say, big up yourself, Dan. You know, releasing music in this season, because as an artist, a lot of us gotta realize. Well, I'm not an artist, but you know, the artist just gotta realize that Carnival itself is a season, but music isn't seasonal.
Facts.
And the best time to release music, right, is right now at the end of the day, because as you saying, you know, true with the streaming and everything like that, you're still getting paid.
Facts. And everybody listening too.
Yeah.
More people.
I think the problem is that a lot of artists limit soca music to Carnival. And
yes, that's the sad part.
You understand? So, like, if we used to take soca, obviously the soca music enhances Carnival, but if we used to look past Carnival when it's considered soca music can really go global, all over the place.
Yeah, facts.
So, like,
I mean, not to cut you, but I personally think with everybody inside, and, you know, some people still trying to keep fit, you know, we could even, you know, push soca music for all those fitness lovers.
Yeah,
you know,
that's
because
true.
it's hype and
Yeah, it really, just to interject, it really does help because Juliet is on here as well, right? The person who was speaking just now is Amari. We do exercises every day, in the evening if we could. And funny enough, right? What was I doing? I put on something. I was listening to a song came on. It was soca, and I'm bent like this, and I started doing like this. I'm like, wait a minute, it's not time yet, you know. But it's like soca just gets you into that mood. It just gives you that charisma just to go, you know.
Facts.
Yeah.
So it's a kind of is an encouragement too. The music itself is an encouragement to keep you, you know, pushing through this pandemic right now as well. You understand? So, like, yo, much respect to you, because your mindset, and a lot of artists was only thinking about it as in a business standpoint, but not thinking about it as in the like, you know, like in a way we're taking soca music global kind of thing. So, like,
it's true. Cordell is asking, was he at Shore Blue event? I
That was
didn't mean
just a
to.
quick question. I didn't know if he was at the Shore Blue showcase. I can't remember. The name sounds familiar, so that's what I was asking.
Well, when was that?
See, I was probably wrong then. It was I could have swore I saw your name on one of the bills. It was one of their Thursday events. Bless you there.
Probably maybe Labor Day weekend.
Yeah, I can't remember. I feel like years have passed now. I don't even know what day it is today.
Yeah.
I know you have your next interview. That's the whole thing. So that's why I didn't want to because you said 9 o'clock is your next interview and it's like 10 to almost. So I didn't want to keep you too long so you could prep for the next meeting. So I don't know if anyone has any last minute questions they can ask him.
Oh, Amari, are you finished? What you were finishing? Sorry, we cut you off.
Nah, I have a last minute comment. Now, boy, that 9 song was turning them real different, boy. Jeez.
Yes.
Remember when that song came, remember when that combination and that song came on? I was like, yo, different.
Yeah, boy.
So keep releasing the music, man. Keep releasing the good music.
For real.
Appreciate it, bro.
Nobody else.
The DJs want to play any other song, like quick 2 seconds of his song?
Touch up yourself, girl. Just this day. Touch up yourself, girl. You look nice, you better love up.
Really like that song.
I know, right?
I want to hear another song, and he just putting on this one, yo. You have some freaky tunes, by the way.
Raise your hand if you don't need a manager. You only need a man who come.
Hold on, I forgot Shandy.
The belly, go down on the jelly, and follow for the Shandy. Push back like one drop like tick tock like
bring it up like girl if it's a make
like now let no man tell you what to do. Push back like one drop like tick tock like bring it up like girl if it's to make panty drop like now let no man tell you what to do.
Thank you. Nice. Is there any way we could have the music low, or would it kind of like
just you have some baby making soca music
during this quarantine period?
You can see when he performs.
You got real quarantine babies with the kind of music. So
yeah. So Shani, you want to go back to our questions real quick so JusD could speak about it as well, or?
Well, he answered most of the questions. I went straight to the relationship segment. So once he fades out, we're gonna continue with everybody else because I would love to hear everybody else's portion. Yeah. I don't know, JusD, do you have kids in the house? Like, how is it juggling? No, you see, so you have it real easy. You have it very easy.
Yeah,
because I was gonna say how you juggling kids and work and all that stuff, because that must be difficult being home.
Yeah, I could imagine.
Boy.
Not there yet though.
Some young ones around here, sometimes I want to take a rope and put it around my neck.
Oh my God, it's not, let me tell you something, it's not even just the young ones, the older ones are, I mean, I can't talk too loud. But the older ones are like, let's cook this meat and that meat and this meat, and I'm like, hold up, we're home all the time. You know,
there's
but
no
it's
place to go.
Yeah, but it's a good thing that they actually, hold on, someone coming. It's a good thing that they actually eating and cooking home cooked food, because it's like how much times you could eat pizza and this and that, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'm glad at least.
Yeah, I could say that one because I've taught Kyle how to cook. So in the morning when he get up, he feel like he'll make his breakfast himself, or he'll make breakfast for the house. And I'm like, see, it's working out. I taught my niece how to make bread, even though she's 3, but she swore she baked the bread herself. So she saw the bread ready. She was like, oh, look at what I did.
I got a question real quick for JusD. Regarding crop over, given the fact that it's canceled, how does that impact Barbados?
Well, I mean, income-wise, you know, like that's no income for that season. You know, a lot of people that would have been vendors, promoters, artists, like everybody, people shooting music videos, like it's hurting, man. You know, it's really hurting.
Is there any what I'm guessing what I'm saying is there any contingency plan or anything that the government's doing to kind of like aid these people?
Yeah. They have a couple things in the work, for somebody unemployed, the self-employed. They're even doing something for the people that in the arts and culture.
Okay.
So they actually putting stuff in place to try to assist people.
Okay. Thank you. Now I was in Barbados right before Trinidad Carnival. I was with I'm sure you know my boy Bill Gates.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was by him, and he was showing me all kind of scenes in Barbados, and you guys have a beautiful country, man. Beautiful country.
He has a popular
thanks,
name,
bro.
Bill Gates.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's a good vibe here, man. We always sun always shining, people friendly, got good food, the women fantastic, and everything.
Yeah, man. We had a big argument about hills and mountains because he was saying that y'all don't have no mountains, and I was arguing that you guys do have mountains, but I took the loss on that one. So
mountains where?
Flat.
No, because look,
they have hills.
I know they got hills. What I'm saying is that there was a certain part I didn't know they didn't have hills. Right, that was the first time I ever been to Barbados. So I was at one part. He took me to this one space where it was like a ginormous mountain type thing. So
probably
I'm like,
the East Coast.
Yeah, it was it was in the East Coast, and where it was very wavy. Like there was a lot of waves in the ocean. And
Yeah.
So I could have swore it was a mountain. So then we had this whole argument. I said, "Bro, you gonna tell me that's not a mountain? That has to be a mountain." It became a whole thing. It started trending and everything.
He's used to it, so that's why he's not gonna think that it's like a mountain, like how you're saying.
Yeah.
I could hear JusD talk all day because I'm just enjoying the crickets in the background. It's just like, nice vibe.
Nice and peaceful. They help me sleep.
Yep.
That's why I say as soon as this is over, I want to go back to Trinidad. I need to go home and not to be in the house or anything, but just to be with family,
But I think to me, traveling back to the Caribbean, like I want to do it so bad, but I would have to brace myself to take a good 3 weeks to a month because I think for St. Vincent, they're saying they want to do a 14-day quarantine as soon as you land. And it's just like, that's like your whole vacation right there.
Vacation. That's crazy.
A whole vacation.
On lockdown. Yeah. Dread, man.
In the house. Like, I'm going to have fun in the house. Like, shit.
That wouldn't make any sense.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
You come for 2 months.
Yeah. Plus, I'm going to just go in December. Hopefully everything, simmers down by then. I'm hoping so. Although they're predicting a second
Fingers
wave.
crossed.
I'm not looking forward to that.
Wow. Anybody have any questions that's in the room for JusD or anything in particular to say? If the people who just joined in, if you don't want to talk and you're shy, you can on the side of you or at the bottom it says chat. You could put something in there and we will ask the questions for you. All right.
So I like that background with the music and so forth. Ooh, Rastaman Cat. I've seen you in forever.
Girl, I've been hiding, girl.
Welcome.
Oh my God.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, Missy. How are you?
What's the topic about? What's going on?
Oh, yeah.
Well, we have the artist JusD right now, but after he leaves, we'll continue with the relationship segment. But basically, it's just a quarantine wrap up. How you doing? How you coping with it? How's working from home with the kids? Are you trying to kill yourself? Not kill yourself? What have you learned about yourself?
We can have someone answer it because the thing is, JusD probably wants to hear a little bit of gossip, a little bit of something, a little bit of spicy before he leaves.
I'm good.
Well, I mean, I work for the school system. I'm home for right now.
So you good? You getting paid?
Big up to JusD, man.
How's it working from home?
Bless up, bro. Bless up.
How's that going? How are you juggling with that?
Our kids are big. They pretty much take care of themselves.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, the youngest.
And you got them in Maryland, right? So it's a little. How's it out there?
Same as everywhere else. Just trying to stay safe. Wearing a mask everywhere we go. Right now, between the DMV Maryland is the highest. Virginia is the lowest right now. DC's coming up. But Maryland got the highest right now.
Wow. That's why my mom is saying that she doesn't, for her birthday, we were supposed to go home. It was supposed to be a surprise for her where everybody was going to go. But now we can't go. And I'm like, Mom, this thing is going to end soon. So maybe we can go. She's like, no, I'm staying here. But now we have to find a place for her to go. So maybe Virginia or someplace. And she doesn't want to be in Maryland because that's where she is now.
Okay, what part of Maryland she is?
I think it's Baltimore, Maryland. She is around. Yeah.
Okay, well, I mean, I don't know if most of y'all probably feel the same way. I think it's so crazy. When this thing is over with, I think we still gonna be going out here wearing our masks. I mean, I can't trust everybody, you know?
I think it'll take a while. It'll probably take a while before people stop it completely.
Of course, of course.
Nikki, do you really think this is gonna end soon?
No, Rondell. I don't think it's gonna end right away. People are gonna be, because if my mom could say that she doesn't want to be in Maryland or she doesn't want to go home right now, there's a lot of people that's thinking that. I would say older people as well. I'm hearing people as young as 40, 30 dying because they have ailments. You know, so I don't think it's gonna end right away. Some people who don't believe that that it can be touched and it's fine, then they'll probably be the ones going to parties and stuff like that until something else happens. You know what I mean? But I'm hearing some stories where in an entire house, the cousin got it, and then the police officer got it, and it's scary. You know, there's a lot of things that people are saying, but it is scary to me.
Rastaman Kev, you said you have big kids in the house. Are they dying to go out? And how are you going to regulate that if they decide to run out?
Well, the thing is, if they run out, they can't come back. First of all,
our kids are not even like that. I'm 17, then we got 16, and then Juju's 12.
No, the oldest is 21, but she's
not here.
Right.
Yeah.
The oldest in the house with us, she's 17, and the youngest is 12. And I mean, for the most part, they're good kids, and they just going through it with us. You know, we go out walking through the neighborhood, we come back, we wear our masks, wash our hands, sanitize, do the homeschooling. So I mean, for the most part, we making it work. You know, we making it work.
We have someone here that says, well, actually, I'm not coping. Okay, Shantae, she says, I'm not coping at all. Shantae, if you want to jump in, you could elaborate on that. Jamie says, please enlighten me on the program. Shandy, you could answer that, like what we're talking about.
Tonight is the quarantine recap. JusD, you leaving now, babe? It's 9 o'clock, or you staying on with us?
Nah, I got a bounce.
You got a bounce? Also, last words, JusD. I just wanted you to see how it goes before you go.
Right. Well, my last words will be, to hope everybody in the chat, keeping safe. Hope everybody family safe. Big up and shout out to all the frontline workers. Again, and stay safe. Keep doing what y'all doing, and make yourself productive during the quarantine.
I want to thank you so much for being here with us. And, it was a last minute thing that we did. And I know we said that we're going to do it again so you could stay a little longer. And you actually stayed longer than you said that you would. But, I know you always got our back, which is great.
Yeah, man, for sure.
So JusD dropping any music?
Yeah, we just dropped one called Boom Bang, and the album is coming May 8th.
Boom Bang. I know you probably don't remember me. We had an interview on one of those stations I was on in Brooklyn a couple of times, probably just right before the quarantine nonsense, but it's all good. What's the name of
turn on your thing so he could see you, so he'd know who it is.
Talking. There we go.
See? The first time I've been on Zoom was last week when we had that event there, so I don't know how to use this thing properly. And on top of that, I have an Android, so you know how that goes.
Oh, yeah. You're not seeing everyone.
Yeah, but Yeah, big ups to you guys.
Oh yeah, bro. Bless up, bro.
Now
I
he
remember.
see ya.
Bad. Yeah, man.
Yeah, I know this face.
Yeah. Good peoples. All right, everybody,
Hey,
blessings, right?
take care.
Thank you.
All right,
Take
thanks for
care.
having me, man.
All right, so Nikki, I don't know if you want to tend to the chat box while I refresh the whole session here.
Yeah, I will. Let me just ask a couple questions here so it doesn't go by. Okay, please enlighten me on the program. So you're gonna tell them what it is, and then someone says China won
with the virus.
With the virus, okay. And then Shantae says, I feel they should keep the lines and the distancing working, and having the kids home being scared to bringing anything home, and now they have this new thing with the children, so it's stressful. Wow, going through a lot, Shantae.
All right. So just to recap for everybody who's now joining, this is the quarantine recap because we've been avoiding talking about the quarantine, about everything basically. We've touched it, but we haven't gone in depth in it. So a few questions I ask is, what have you learned about yourself during the quarantine period? If you're home with your family or your children and you're working still, how you're juggling and how you're managing that. How's that going for you? And what is something new that you've done during the quarantine as well?
But I think we gardened. We did some gardening.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, we did some gardening, and that's about it. Plant some rose bush and things, but that's about it.
I haven't been as fortunate enough as to stay home. I mean, I guess it might be a blessing, but going out there and working, there's not a lot of food options. And like, I'm West Indian, so it's crazy. The city is wild. One thing I've noticed, like, people, the way people think about you in their minds, like, they're using coronavirus as an excuse to really manifest these thoughts and stuff. And the way I see people treating others out there is crazy. And one thing I've learned from this coronavirus is people aren't really friendly. They just pretend to be,
Really? Could you give us an example of that, of what you mean by that?
Like simple things, like.
Well, I missed it. I was sorry. I'm multitasking. My bad. I just got the end of it.
I got the end of it.
Oh my God. No, but all right, I go out there, right? And the type of work I do is pretty much essential. It may not be as, like all the nurses and whoever get praised, but if I don't do my work, the hospitals can't function, wherever the case may be in some instances. But what I'm saying is this: the way people treat others right now, it's like they don't want you close to them. All right, there's a 6 feet rule, but there are folks out there who just take it overboard. There's one thing with probably upholding policies or whatever the case may be, but there's another thing in the way in which you carry on with it. And I'm telling you, people out there, if they were low-key racist towards a certain type of person, now is a good time for them to just bring it out right now. And that's what they're doing. Like, I'll be driving in my truck and I watch the way people, their body language says a lot. The things they say to other people, the way they treat other people at this point in time is crazy. And you may not see it right now. Look how many videos of police brutality is surfacing right now. That's been going on since the quarantine started, but it's now coming out. And I'm telling you, I've been in the city and I work anywhere around Fifth Avenue all the way up there. There is no police presence. If there's police presence, there's very few. And these folks are walking about. They're doing their regular basis. They have no mask. And I don't like to say white people, but they are white people. But they're doing what they're doing out here. And then when I drive into Brooklyn, the police presence is heavy out here. The folks, people calling cops on you anywhere you go. I stood there in a corner store and watch a guy call the cop on another guy because he wasn't wearing a mask, and they showed up. And they showed up, you know? So it's the way people are being treated right now. This quarantine taught me one thing. What people have been thinking in their minds, they're using it as an excuse to just manifest their thoughts right now. And America is not a nice place to live at this point in time. I'd rather be in Grenada or Barbados.
Yeah, everybody wants to go back to an island or to their island or something because, you know, the brutality. I've seen some of the videos. They showed one video. They were in a park and they were frisking a guy, and one of his friends was video recording him, and the cops end up taking him and putting him on the floor while the lady, the white lady or whatever, she's recording them at the bottom. I'm sure you probably saw it. Recording them at the bottom, all around them, and nobody frisked her. Nobody said anything, but everybody else, you know. And it's sad. It's so sad. They say they're handing out masks at the parks. Let's say in Manhattan or whatever, handing out masks. People are sitting down and, you know, chilling in the park. Even on the beach, my daughter went. They went down yesterday because it was kind of warm or whatever. And they went down there and they saw people just chilling on the beach. Nobody, no cops or anything around to do anything.
No, I was saving something, but I asked the officer, I'm like, why do you think that they treat folks differently here on this side of town rather over on the other side, which is Brooklyn? And he said one thing that really hit me. He said, this neighborhood is their neighborhood. He said, the neighborhood in Brooklyn is not your neighborhood. You just occupy space in that neighborhood. So I didn't even have to ask him anything further. I understood exactly what he meant. I do work for a lot of these places.
That's a white officer.
Yeah, he was.
A white officer?
He was. Yeah, he was. Now, I'm going to tell you this, right? I'm going to tell you this. When I go to the city, if it's not an apartment building that the person is living somewhere else, if you go to service and house, I promise you, the person living there owns that house. And it's that way for blocks upon blocks. Now, when you come to the neighborhoods like Brooklyn, and you have public housing such as NYCHA housing and all these housing, there are people within the government that own these buildings. So the people that live in that neighborhood, it does not belong to them. They own no property, they own no stores, they own nothing in that neighborhood. But they carry on in such a way. Now, those neighborhoods are controlled by the NYPD. So you have to pretty much adhere. So pretty much what he was summing up basically is that they wouldn't go do what they do in those neighborhoods in the so-called white neighborhoods because they own their neighborhood. They can get you out of their neighborhood if they want to.
And
town
that
hall
is my
meetings,
point
all that.
for the longest. And I'm glad you said that because, you know, I had this debate with a couple of people, especially in regards to the Jewish neighborhood versus the Black neighborhood, why the Black people were handcuffed to the ground and the Jewish people don't even get summonses. And I try to explain to people, you make very valid points. No one is going to knock that 100%. I feel that anger and I understand that anger. But at the same time, you have to also look at how these communities operate. These Jewish people, they pay. They have some kind of authority figure in politics. What do we have? We have no unity. It's a crab in a barrel mentality. No one is supporting the next person. They're just like, oh, this one is better than the other. And I will always say, in my mind, I will always say it stems from slavery. We never got out of that slavery mentality. If you think about it, when we were oppressed, it just came from generation to generation. It switched. The focus was no longer about a white man physically enslaving you. Now he's mentally slaving you in different forms and fashion. And it's just so sad now. The focus is no longer on coronavirus now. It's more focused on the brutality or the racism within the United States of America. Hence, when you brought up the point, all the videos going around. So now you're saying that you're seeing the truth about people. Racism was always here. Trump is the biggest racist bastard out there, But unfortunately, that's who they voted for. And I'm observing, and I feel, you know, I've spoken to some people who live in the South, and they've said to me many times that, you know, these people support that man. Like anything this man says, they think it's bond. Like whatever he says is gold. And it's frightening because when you go to Europe, when I went to Europe in France, people were just like, I'm so sorry for you. Like, how are you coping with that man being your president? And it's so shameful because they really look down on us or they feel sorry for us. So it's so many things to unpack within the situation. And if you're not clever or intelligent enough, you'll fall for the antics of what the media shows you. Unfortunately, certain cases the media brings out the truth, and certain cases is propaganda.
Most cases is propaganda and bullshit, but okay.
No, because you wasn't even for the whole well, you said you wasn't even for the whole coronavirus. You just like it's just a simple flu, and now look at it. It blew up. It's a different scene now. Then you have people who clinging to the 5G theory. I'm not naming names.
Yeah, that's creepy though. That 5G thing is creepy.
Honestly, I wasn't for all of that. The thing is, I feel like it's more to it. It definitely has to be more to it than what they're saying. They're saying that this thing started in March. That's bullshit. It's been here. It's been here since December, maybe even early as November. It's just we didn't know about it. Doctors didn't know about it. They were just telling people it's an unknown virus, or oh, it's not the flu, but you have upper respiratory infection. So it's been here. So now they're trying to do all this extra stuff. Even the whole social distancing, I think that that's bullshit. For me, honestly, the scariest part is how, yes, coronavirus is scary, don't get me wrong, but it's scary as to how much the government was able to take everything away from us. Everything. From religion to education to everything. They were able to strip us in a matter of days. Like, it's crazy to me. It's crazy. And then I just recently heard, I don't know how true it is because I don't watch the news, that in Sweden, they're not even practicing social distancing. So what I would like to know, well, what is Sweden's death toll? Because we're sitting here doing social distancing.
Sweden had like a whole different concept, but also over there, they had mandatory vaccines. Sweden and Dutch areas, they implemented a session where you had to be mandatory vaccination. So I think that's why they probably can afford to do whatever they're doing now, because everybody has been vaccinated. So the question is, where the hell they get the vaccine from? I don't know. Maybe they made up some vaccine shit. I don't know. I told people I would not take the American vaccine. I'd rather take the Cuban vaccine.
But it's been here. Even that Dr. Fuchsia, whatever his name is, I don't trust him. He looked like
I don't trust Fauci. I'm sorry. He's great, but I don't trust him.
Listen, I remember when I went to broadcasting school, one of the main lessons in there was like, if you want to sell a dramatic story, you always have to put a piece of truth in there. I'm replying to your comment where you made, Shandy, about the media and they're lying. You always put a piece of truth in some type of drama, and then you stir it up, and that's how you make for a great story. I'll never forget that lesson. Yeah, up to this day, even if I'm writing a status on Facebook or something, I always remember that and try to apply that to it. And this is what the government is depending on. They're depending on the media to sell you lies and propaganda. Now, yes, it doesn't necessarily have to be the entire government. There are people in there that's really doing good and really trying to help. But there are people who are in there that's just trying to line their pockets. And I'm telling you, coronavirus is making them a lot of money.
Oh, yeah.
So this lockdown is going to last. Remember, Trump already knows. Before he got into power, there's powerful lobbyists and people who was throwing money his way. Remember, a president has to come in there and they have to seemingly act as if they're serving the country, but they have to take care of the people that put them in that power. Remember, the general public really isn't the ones to put the president there. It's the people that's really donating and all that big money so he can bribe this one and get that one in there and sway Congress to vote this way and that way. Now, there's a lot going on behind the scenes, but I'm telling you, it's a money thing, and as long as they can stay locked down, they're gonna make money, So they just really have to keep all the black asses in check so we don't sway the rest of the public to come.
They were actually losing money. That's why they're trying to open it up. But my thing, I'm looking at it in two sides.
But who is losing money? That's the thing. Who is really losing money?
The rich people are losing it.
Because that's what Shandy kept saying. Shandy was like, oh, they're losing money. But I'm like, okay, who's losing money? And then at the end of the day, the richer or pharmaceutical, whoever, they're making money. Supermarket chains are making money. So maybe the lower people, or stuff like stores and stuff, they're losing actual money, but I'm sure they're still making money online because people are still ordering stuff online. Yes, they
But you
can't
see what the
physically
thing
go
is
to the
this?
store.
The rich people kind of feeling it in a sense. Listen, the rich people feeling it because they don't want to spend the money that they have. I just read a story where one of these big conglomerates, they have the money, they have billions, but they created a GoFundMe account so they can find ways to pay for their employee services. So what pisses me off, instead of these people taking money out of their own pocket to say, all right, worker, here, take this, come back to work, they rather keep their shit and make us, the general public, pay for the services. And I think that's the bullshit I don't like. That is total bullshit.
There, like when natural disasters happen, there's a lot of funding that the government is just being stored there. You're paying your taxes, whatever, and it's just being stored there. So a time like this, where there's a pandemic going on, this is the perfect time to squeeze all that money out. Look, for instance, that 300 and whatever, 46 billion, whatever they were supposed to give to businesses. You see how quickly that ran out? They're just squeezing money out. That's pretty much what it is, and they're gonna squeeze it until they can't squeeze no more, and boom, we're gonna magically open back up. I promise you that.
But you know what I'm thinking? I was so mad. I was looking at economics. I was like, I forgot my economics class, because I'm like, I remember we're so in debt. America is so in debt, but yet they find money every single second for a stimulus package.
We have our own mint.
So that means that money eventually is either gonna, one, count as really just paper, just flat paper where it means nothing, and you're gonna have to use gold, or I don't know.
Yeah, all right, Shandy, let me tell you this. Think of this name.
Rondell, hold that thought. Don't forget it, okay? I just want to say a couple of things. Well, Shiloh, did you want to say something here, or you wanted us to read it out?
Rondell laughing. I mean, we could read it out. I was just replying to, well, the person's name is iPad. I don't know. I have no idea who it is.
All right, so let me read what iPad said. He said, I think Black provoked officers at times who are carrying out their duties. Like if officers pull out over and questions you, why it has to be harassment. iPad, you want to explain? Or should I unmute iPad?
Well, we could actually get iPad to elaborate a little bit more about
iPad,
that.
do you want to elaborate? Or, oh, they mute, so go ahead. You talk. I guess they're just gonna, they're gonna text.
No, I think
you should go down the messages, because I see 7 chats there. So go down the messages, and whoever wants to come in could come in. Pause.
Yeah, well, the other one, the first, let me see, Shantae, I feel I should keep the lines. Okay, so from Juliet said, I think it's due to being fearful. One mistakes for, and there's no going back. You can die. Sorry, guys, I don't have my glasses, so my eyes are getting fuzzy. Cordell says, November lockdown or not, I'm voting him out. Shiloh, facts. Cordell,
sure.
I read what iPad said, and Shiloh, you could read yours since you're on. Rondell, we're gonna come back to you.
You're Rondell, so she want me to read mine. So I know you have no glasses, but no, I was just, I mean, I was just saying, like, there is good and bad in everything, to be honest, in the world. So we need to get this out of the way. But just the mere fact that, you know, if a cop pull you over and you just have to comply, that's just all nonsense to me. He or she has to have a probable cause to actually pull you over and ask you question or to frisk you. One needs to know their rights. You need to know your constitutional rights, number one. If you're gonna state something like this, that means you do not know your constitutional rights or you don't know your amendment rights. So if a cop pull you over, you have the right to just keep on walking. Because if you're not breaking any law, if he or she doesn't have any reason or seen you, you know, have seen you done any type of unlawful type of, you know, offense, why should you comply and just go ahead and just answer their questions? And that's the problem with, like, I would say, our, you know, our community. We're not really informed on knowing when not to answer and when not, you know, and when to answer. And we also are not informed as well. Sometimes, some of us, not all of us, of what not to say. So, you know, we already have that self-defensive mechanism in our mind as, you know, as Black cultures, Black and brown people, that, you know, we already write off the cop. If they pull us over, they're going to come and want to, you know, interrogate us, ask us questions, or maybe want to try to, you know, arrest us or something. So we get that type of defensive shell right off the back.
Shiloh, put a pin on that. I just want to piggyback off what you're saying, because I spoke to someone, right? And they were saying, you know, the same thing that iPad was saying is that Americans are too aggressive, or Black people, I should say. I shouldn't just say Americans, but Black people are too aggressive. The same thing Shandy was saying, you know, something along those lines. And I was saying it goes back to slavery, you know, it goes back to slavery with the Black people. And that was my belief, you know.
But that's bullshit. We're not. But first of all, I feel like as Black people, we're fearful. First of all, I'm in law enforcement. If a cop is driving behind me, granted, I know I'm going to get off, I get nervous. So now it's difficult trying to drive at 35 miles per hour and 45 miles per hour.
Because we're stigmatized. We're stigmatized by the culture and everything that goes on and everything that we see in the media. And then we're stigmatized by everything. I don't like hearing a cop behind me. I don't like hearing that siren behind me, because you never know what's going to happen. You see all these things happening and you get scared. You know, I didn't go through slavery, but from what I saw and educating myself, it's like, I know there's certain things I can and cannot do. I think Caribbean people are a little different in the way that we are. I don't want to say that we're less aggressive, because we do have aggressive ones, but just from my, you know, from what I've been through, I'm just saying.
People gotta be aggressive.
No, hold on. I'm not saying, no, but remember what I said, right?
Like, that's crazy. But
remember what I said, right? Well, that's what I was saying. It's like, people tend to say, oh, that's the same thing. I was talking to someone else too. They were saying that, you know, why do we have to be so aggressive? And I'm like, anything that we do, no. And he's Black too. Anything that we do, we're like, why does it have to be where they're saying that we're aggressive? And then when it's a white person, you know, they tend to say, well, he's being human. Even in the news, they'll be like, oh, he's a monkey, he's this, he's that, when it comes to Black people. And then when it comes to a white person, it's a different story. They dumb it down. So I totally understand.
Let me chime in there. I think the fear comes from both, right? What I mean by that is, I realize that when it comes to a lot of our people, we don't respect authority, right? And then on the other side, right, it have the other people, you know, the law enforcement that looks down on us in a certain way. So it's like, it's both extremes, right? Because sometimes the officer don't even have to be doing anything, and the Black man could just say F the police, right? And I've seen it many times, right? Now I'm not saying that the police is innocent, because there are some times where, I mean, I've been pulled over and I've been spoken to in an aggressive way when I wasn't even doing anything wrong.
Remember the quota that they have to fill as well, huh? Remember the cops have a quota as well.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, right, is that with a lot of our people, something doesn't necessarily even have to happen, but because they're stigmatized already in the mindset of F the police and F this and the police is pigs and all this stuff, that the first thing when they see a police before anything happens, the first thing that comes out of their mouth is disrespect. You understand what I'm saying?
That's because of the many bullshit that we have had to deal with and endure. And this is not even just coming from now. What about Abdul Louima and everybody else from the past? Like, I mean, I get it. Again, I'm in law enforcement, but at the end of the day, there are cops that make things bad. They're the ones that make it worse for everyone.
And I agree.
I work with white people, so to work with white people and for them to say, oh, well, why can't Black people just listen, or whatever the case is? White people don't listen. They all buying shotguns. What we got? We don't got nothing.
Yeah, they do whatever they want.
Agree.
They do whatever they want.
We got rock.
But my question is, right? Do you randomly ever hear a white person always turn around and saying F the police?
Yeah.
You don't know?
Yes.
Yeah,
Wiggers. I'm not gonna lie. I hear wiggers say all the time. Wiggers.
No. If I could chime in for 1 second. If I could chime in for 1 second, this is the thing, right? Now,
I tell you right now, I have 3 very good friends who are all police officers. How me and these 3 individuals became friends? Through traffic stops.
Oh shit.
And it was through traffic stops with my cousin. I have a cousin go by the name of Swanky. Now, he came from a long line of Black Americans who always thought that the cops are not for you. They don't care for you. They're not you. But you have to remember, that is a human being that's in a uniform who took an oath to step up. Now, if you come at me with some type of anger towards you, obviously that's going to be reciprocated through me. Now, if I show you respect, you're going to show me some type of respect. Even if you do not want to show me respect, the fact that I'm showing you respect, you would have no choice because we're human beings. Now, I've diffused so many situations in life. Now, one quick instance. We were stopped on Church Avenue in Flatbush. The cop came up to the window. My cousin is drunk out of his mind. I'm drunk out of my mind. We're operating a motor vehicle. The cop walks up to the window. He shines the light. My cousins start with the expletives off the back. They pull him out the car immediately. Now I'm here laughing. Out the car immediately. Now I'm the driver of the vehicle. I started laughing. I was like, that's what you get. You should have shut up. You know, now there's one of the cops who was just there. He walked up to me. He asked me, he said, you guys were drinking? I said, listen, I had a lot to drink. I'm human. Have you ever drove and have you ever drank and drove? He was like, on many occasions, but the cops never pulled me over. I said, why did you pull me over? Because I was in the neighborhood, or was it because I did something wrong behind the wheel? He said, we pulled you over because you have a car that fit the description. My car is a G37. Look on the road. The drivers of G37 usually breaks the law. So you see, I wasn't doing anything wrong. It's just because I had a vehicle that fit the description. Now, had I been the type of person my cousin was, we was all going down, and then we probably got beat up, and then guess what? Well, police brutality. No, we didn't address them properly. They're doing their jobs out there. Remember, these people are under heavy stress.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Can I?
Judgment is in Montreal, so I want to hear what he has to say.
I really want to hear.
Making me jealous.
If that person that was driving that G37 was a 50-year-old white man with a polo T-shirt on, you think he's still gonna get stopped?
No, not at all. Because I fit the age group of the people that is, when they do the traffic stops, they have statistics of people that do certain things. So now you're looking for persons between the ages of probably 20 to about 30 who drive G37, and you know you guaranteed if you pull over one of these vehicles, you're guaranteed to find alcohol, you're guaranteed to find some type of marijuana, you're guaranteed to find some type of drug. We're gonna target that area because that's what makes up our quota. We're gonna target that area. Now, you go to the city like Manhattan in these places, you're not accustomed to getting these stuff. It's not gonna be a focus. Now, I'll give you a perfect example. When I started being a manager at CVS, right? And I became the store manager really quickly and whatever the case. And I went in there with the mindset like, yo, why do you guys treat customers like this? These people, they are customers, they're shopping, they're this. You must be nice, you must be courteous. 2 months into that, I was telling people how they're so and so. Because listen, you see this New York here, it brings out a different person in you. I came from California, San Francisco area where we told our neighbors good morning every day. And now I have been in New York almost 6 years. You cannot watch me twice. I want to fight.
It's different.
It's where you are, and it's you. So with us blaming the cops, we gotta change ourselves. We gotta check ourselves first, and the way we treat people, the way we speak to people. You understand? It's crazy. But
it's crazy.
Hold on. So hold on. Can I just say so, Rondell? Based on what you say, and I get where you're coming from, but you ended with something that said we got to change our mindset. We got to treat people, watch how we talk. But you said also before that, New York changes your mindset.
Yes, but you have to battle New York. It's a battle.
No,
It is.
It's a mind thing, brother.
It's a mindset.
New York is a tough place. I'm from Jersey, and New York is a tough place, and you have to know where you're coming from and how you're acting. You cannot act the way how you act in Jersey. You cannot act in New York.
It depends on which part of New York.
Well,
because
I'm just generalizing
like
it.
there's certain parts where I wouldn't even put my foot in. I would just if I go there and I know it's rough, I just go like and I walk down the streets like this.
Yeah,
67 precinct in New York City. That's like one of the worst precincts ever.
But the point I was trying to make is you should not make an area or a neighborhood or a state change your state of mind and who you are as a human. You should not.
You have to survive. If you go to the jungle, you have to act accordingly.
And I totally get that too. Yeah. But you could act accordingly, but you should not change your inner personality.
You know what can save us?
You though. Sometimes
you know what can save us? There's only one thing that can save us. The only thing that can save us is traveling. There is nothing else can save us.
It helps.
That and some music, but traveling will save us as a people. If when I say we, I'm talking about Black Americans who were born here, because they're the ones that are really acting the hell up. Us Caribbean people, we're just trying to move through, but some of us Caribbean people, we get caught up with the Black Americans that are here, and then we start talking about their situation. But I'm telling you, travel can save us. Let us travel some more.
But I mean,
wait, hold on, guys. Wait, hold on. Nikki there was some comments in the chat section. I want to attack first.
Yeah,
I know it's very heated.
You know what? I have something to say about the traveling, but people are gonna jump down my throat if I say more. But I'm just saying, right? And this is what. Okay, so I work with white people. I did babysitting. I work in McDonald's. I work in corporate. I work in as admin. I did a lot of different jobs. So I work with different entities. I had friends as white people, Chinese, different. So I don't have an issue with people per se, right? When I did babysitting, the lady was like, Nicole, you don't feel funny being around white people and you're the only Black? First of all, I don't like people calling me Black, because where I come from, we don't judge people not judge, but we don't call you by the color of your skin. So that shocked me the first time I came here, right? Is mostly by your name, either, Goddard or Nicole or something. Other than that, with the traveling thing, I've met people, and I'm not being biased to anybody who's American or anything like that. I'm sure they have Caribbean people here who's never traveled, but from what I've experienced, people who don't travel who's Caribbean, is because you can't go back home. But people who I've met who are Americans here and stuff like that don't even travel from Newark to Jersey City. Much less travel. All right. And I'm not downing anybody. I'm just saying the culture that's here, it's like it keeps you down.
Single-minded.
It keeps you down. You know what I mean?
Because this is all you know. This is all you know.
And then just one more comment before I read. You guys made me forget anyway, so let me.
I just want to say one thing.
It was about New York. I live in Jersey. I was living in Queens at one time, and I live in Jersey. When I learned to drive, people were like, "You better stop driving like you're in New Jersey when you come to New York." So I'm saying that to say this. I generalize it when I say New York, because you cannot act like a Jersey folk when you go into New York. And not to say you have to be tough in every area. It's just that you still have to watch your back no matter where you go. And there's certain places where you definitely have to watch your back. That's all. Let me read.
I'll go back to the travel thing when you're finished reading. Go read.
Okay. All right. Who am I going there? Okay. So Andrew says, if you don't stop at Shiloh, they're going to say you're not complying if you don't. And then iPad said, I get your view, Shiloh, but Amari got where I'm coming from. We are Black people.
We as Black people
make things worse at times, yeah. Oh, we as Black people make things worse at times, and then Chocolate Mo, LOL.
Because we are brainwashed. I really still think it's brainwashed. Don't get me wrong. You do have the ignorant ones. You do have the young ignorant ones. But at the end of the day, are they really saying and doing something wrong? You have white people where they get stopped. They'll spit on the police officers and everything. And nothing happens to them. No repercussions.
Because
us,
that's privilege. They have privilege.
And something
Which
happens
goes
to get
back to my
arrested.
point, which goes back to the
Everybody-
point of what I think Rondell said it too, with the police officer that said it to him. We really don't own anything within our area.
But
The
it
Jews
doesn't
own an
matter.
area. They have their own police. They have Shamram.
No, it doesn't
their own
matter.
hospital.
It does
What
matter.
they have? What do we have?
Reason why it matters, right? I realize the dialect, how we treat each other as well. Not just the other races, the way they treat us, but the way we treat each other, right? Like
we taught them how to treat us.
The way I see how because I work at Target overnight, right? And the way I see my coworkers talking to each other. You know?
Tune in to Watch Trouble. We bring you a variety of info, highlights with Shani Sweet,
Nikki G the Voice, and DJ Dazzle.
Tell them we